Welcome to Football Focus UAE. It's episode 10 and it's Cup Week. Let's get over to the action.
Welcome everybody to Football Focus UAE episode number 10, the only football show that analyses the UAE Pro League in English, Ian. Week number 10 is, or should I say episode number 10 is a little bit different. As you can see, we're going to be looking at the 4 games that took place in the Arabian Gulf Cup, which is held under the name of Mohammed bin Rashid, and as we know it's in celebration of his 15th anniversary of His Highness the Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, Vice President, Prime Minister and ruler of Dubai, as the head of the UAE government. And the Arabian League, or should I say the Arabian Gulf Cup, is a quarterfinals. It's home and away, which we forgot to mention last week, Ian. And so this is the first leg, and we have the second leg, I think not next week, the week after. Next week is week 13 for the Arabian Gulf League. And we've got the 4 games. The 4 games that we're going to look at today, just give me a second, is first of all Khor Fakkan versus Shabab Al Ahly. Al Nassr, who are now coming to the Arabian Gulf Cup because of being the champions, they enter this stage, the quarterfinals. They'll be playing Fajir at home. And then we have Banyas versus Kalba and Sharjah versus Al Wasl. Now I have to say, over the 4 games, there was only really one game that had lots of goals. It was a good game to watch. And the other games, a little bit, I don't know, I don't want to use the word boring, Ian, but they're nothing much to write home about.
No, they're a little bit dire, aren't they? And I think that probably comes down to the teams that were put out, the players that were put out. A lot of teams sort of fielded reserve teams or gave opportunities to other people, so difficult for them to come straight in and gel and produce great football. I think that's what we saw, whereas Shabab actually put out a reasonably strong team.
They needed a win here. They needed a win after all them draws. I mean, 7 draws they've had this season?
7 out of 12.
Yeah, so I think they played the main team to get a draw.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to look at the first game, and the best game, I have to say, of the 4 games in the quarter-final, and it's Khor Fakkan at home versus Shabab Al Ahly.
Yeah. So
we'll enjoy the highlights. You'll enjoy.
Eduardo, opportunity here, cuts it back, goal, and it is 1-0 for Shabab Al Ahly. Ahmed Al Hashmi. Ganev, opportunity to get the ball into the box again. Decent delivery. It's a great goal again from Shabab Al Ahly. What a header that one is. What a header that is. Mohammed Yusuf looks desperately as defenders. Get the ball in again. And it's 3-0 to Shabab Al Ahly. Another header from Eduardo. 2 goals with his head last week. And another one this week with his head. He's been a threat most of this first half. Tristan turns himself a free kick. And that could be a sending off, you know. That could well be a sending off, and it is. What a ridiculous thing to do for Hakau. Silva back into Lamas. Can he shoot it first time? That is a great finish. What a finish that is. And he's deserved that, you know. He's thoroughly deserved that this evening. Bruno Lamas get back into this game. Good ball in, Silva. Oh, and it's a deflection. It's 3-2. And they're certainly back in the game. Khor Fakkan, they're back in the tie. Tristan turns, tries to play through 3 players, and it's a possible penalty. The referee's given it. Khor Fakkan are up in arms about it. It's Yusuf, and it's Qatabia, the victor. It is Khor Fakkan 2.
Okay, so Khor Fakkan versus Shabab Al Ahly. This is the best chance for both teams to get any silverware. So we're just going to look at all the goals throughout the game, just break them down and look at the reasons why they happened. So the first goal here, as the ball gets played through, we'll just wait for it to come onto here. If we just freeze the play here, look at the Shabab forward, just driving forward here. But then we've got Corsican defenders. 2 defenders chasing the ball. This man coming to try and stop the shot coming off, which is the correct thing to do. But then we've got the Shabab player here, all on his own. No one looking at him. This player here, no focus. He's still, again, you can see him looking directly at the ball. You've got the defender here, again, looking across the line. Somebody's got to take responsibility for this person here. If they don't do that, he's going to score the goal. And we'll see exactly what happens here. And it's a great finish, a lovely cutback and a great finish. If we just have a look at the replay now. Here, great example. Man completely free. Defender here has got to move. He's got to move across into this area here. He's got to get into this space just here. These two forwards or defenders are just watching the ball. And then also, as the ball gets cut back, we've even got an extra player right at the top of the screen who could take the rebound as well, giving the goalkeeper absolutely no chance whatsoever. So that's really, really poor. The second goal, as this ball gets played out wide, just watch this first defender as he tries to close down the ball. So it comes out, so we just pause it here. This defender doesn't even influence the cross. It's almost like a token effort. He's not doing anything at all. He allows the cross to get in. He's got to get tighter. He's got to get in front of this player and make sure he's putting this player's head down. This player here, again, focusing on the ball, he's not doing anything. He's either got to double team him and get 2 players in here, or he's going back and support defenders here. As we just run it on a little bit more, we'll see this cross come in. You know, it's a lovely, lovely header. The keeper just can't understand what's happening. If we just freeze the play here, we've got 3 centre-backs here on the straight line. This is the guy they should be taking the lead off, so they should have a straight line coming straight through here. These 2 guys have got to step up. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Shabab players there aren't really being marked. And as you watch the ball come in, just a token effort from the defenders to get on the end of the ball. So it's very, very poor. Okay, great corner in. Very, very tough. Very, very tough to defend against. You've got a nice little flick on, and then Ramos comes through, scores his second header in as many weeks, drives through and gets it in. Is this defender doing enough? In my opinion, he's not. You know, he's not really goal side. He's got to get tighter for him, and he's got to put pressure on him. He's just not doing that. As you can see from this angle here, he's not really doing anything. This defender here is on his heels. You've got Shabab player driving in here. You've got a driver in there. So even if it goes through, you've got 2 guys putting pressure on it. The Corsican defence just aren't proactive enough. They're not alive to the situation. And then this is the sending off. Ridiculous here. Remember, at this stage of the game, Shabab are winning 3-0. They're under no pressure whatsoever. Corsican players trying to get the ball back, and then this happens. Very poor from Hakil. Okay, and this is our goal of the month, Bruno Lamas. Beautiful, beautiful strike. Now I'm going to be hypercritical and highlight this defender here. As he's coming out, he's doing the right thing. He's closing the ball down, but he turns his back. And if you look at the way he finishes, we'll look from the other angle as it comes through. Comes running out, and you can already see he's starting to turn his back. Okay, he doesn't want to get this ball. And as you can see there, he's facing completely the wrong way. He's got to be chest on. He's got to throw his body on the line there. He's got to take that ball in the chest or in the face. Admittedly, it's a wonder strike. It's a brilliant goal, but he's not done enough. And then Mazouk, unfortunately, miscommunication with himself and his goalkeeper again. Shabab, the line isn't quite right. He needs to step up, otherwise he's going to start playing people onside. As this ball comes down, he's got to be clearing that from his feet. But what I would want to see the goalkeeper screaming at him, calling it his ball and letting the ball go through. If we just watch here, there's no pressure on him whatsoever. And gives the goalkeeper no chance. And then finally, penalty. Okay, so initial reaction, it looks like a penalty. But when we look at the replay here, it's very clever forward play from the striker. As you can see here, he leads his leg, he puts his leg in between the Corsican defenders' legs. Okay, so he initiates the contact. and then goes down. And then Federico just puts the penalty away. So it's very, very clever forward play. And finally, that was it. So from all the goals we've seen, there's six goals scored there. Only really the Bruno Lamas one was one that wasn't really defendable. The rest are, in my opinion, defensive errors or technical team and individual errors that need to be sorted. But overall, 4-2 Shabab. They deserved the win. They were more clinical. But it would make it an interesting second leg then.
Okay, thank you for that, and thank you for that analysis, Ian. Very good, and pointing out the defender. They should have done better, and that fantastic goal as well.
Yeah,
all right, let's move on to the next game. It's Al Nassr versus Fujira, an interesting game. When you think of Fujira, they're there near the relegation zone. They're 1 or 2 losses away from being dragged down in there. So I think a win would really do the trick.
Yeah, they desperately need a win, don't they?
It's a tough game, Al Nassr. But again, as we said, they're playing B teams to me. They're not playing the full teams, as you will see. So let's move on and enjoy the highlights, everybody.
There's an eye at giving the goals. In danger here, and that's an early goal. Antonio Jose Carvalho with the perfect start for the cup holders here. Just fell down perfectly for him. And he's such a good striker with the ball direction. Now there's a bit of an opening here. And it's through towards him, and it will be the equalising goal. Christian Samuel with the left foot on it. And they've totally deserved it. Tariq out wide to Diasaba. Try and cut in and get on his right foot. That's a good cross across the face of goal. Had the goalkeeper not got a hand on that, Kate would have been the hero of the hour. That's a good save, deflected as well. The goalkeeper had to adjust to get his hands on it.
We're looking at Al Nassr versus Fujira. An interesting game when you think top of the table. This is Fujira's chance to win something. We know Al Nassr are going for the league. But let's have a look at the first goal. There we can see, if you can pause it there for me, and if you look at the first goal, it was in the first couple of minutes. And Fujira do have this proclivity of, it takes them a few minutes to wake up. I saw the game against Corsican, and in the first 5 minutes of the second half, they let 2 goals in. It was like they were still half asleep, and it happened here. If you look at the first goal, in the first 2 minutes, if we can have a look at it again, Ian, it was just a simple cross. There was only 2 players, 3. Look at this. This is, the first touch was horrendous, but I have to say it was a fantastic goal from Cavalli. His half volley, let's have a look at it. You can see his first touch, throw him down. Cavallo comes in and hits a sweet right foot into goal. Let's have a look at the next goal. If we can pause it there for me, Ian. After the goal, Al Nassr got the goal in the first 2 minutes. I have to say that if you can get to look at the whole game, Fujira were the better team. I have to say that. And as Ian mentioned early on, these are B teams. But Fujira, well, I should say Al Nassr's, it was a B team. Fujira did play the big boys, Ben Larbi, Christian Samuel. Fujira were the better team. They had better possession, but they lacked chances. And the first real chance came with a good bit of interplay, if we can have a look at it, Ian, between Ben Larbi and Christian, who do play well together. You can see, ball from Christian, he's played back to him, and what a lovely goal. And he needed that goal, Christian. He's been on a bit of a drought at the moment, and that was a lovely goal. Then, I'm sorry, I'm going to fall asleep now, because this is the only real chance in the second half. I mean, maybe it's even in the first half, and that was it. It was like a half a chance if ever. Look, he plays a cross in, it was deflected. There was only one Al Nassr player there. I mean, Tagliabue wasn't playing. But that's all really I can say about this game. But I think we'll see in the second leg, again, Ian mentioned it, the big boys will be out. They want to get into the semi-final, especially for Fujairah. This is their only chance to do something, because we know Al Nassr, they won it last season, and they're challenging for the league as well. All right, thank you very much. As I said, Ian, not much to write home about there, just a couple of good goals in Fujairah. As I said in my analysis, they need to wake up in that first few minutes. It really costs them. Silly goals, schoolboy errors.
Yeah, you can't afford to do that, can you? You can't afford to come out in the first half and the start of the second half on the back foot. You've got to be there ready to go, and they're just not. And it's killing them.
Yeah, it is. It really is, because they play nice football. All right, Ian, your turn now. Banyas versus Calba. I know Calba's one of your teams, and David Mariani is a player we've interviewed and we enjoy watching, and he's doing very well. So let's watch the highlights, everybody. Banyas versus Calba.
Sent in by Jimenez, almost caught out. Al-Zabi. Deep delivery. Triggers contest. Malapa, quick corner taken, and Malapa with the header. Smart play by Calba. And the returning hero, Malapa. Flicked in that quick corner. Calba ahead. Fine performance this turn for Banyas. Makes the goals and the assists. No real sign of danger tonight from him. There's Pedro with a header. That's how you do it, Banyas. It's been a tale of two strikers. Malapa with a header at one end, Pedro at the other, and it was Al-Nubi. This goes down, free kick given. Tough challenge from Hadsabir.
Okay, so Banyas versus Ittihad Calba, and no surprise, two goal scorers, Mlapa and João Pedro, two big names from both teams. And as the play goes on, we'll break it down and have a look at the two goals. So the manager there ready. So as this ball comes in, keeper just gets caught just a little bit underneath the ball, manages, I think, just to get a little touch on it, put it onto the bar. We'll have a look here. I think, we'll give him the credit there. I think he's got a little bit on it. So this was a superb bit of quick thinking from the Calba corner taker. If we watch very, very closely, as we pause it here, the Banyas defenders aren't set up at all. They're not ready. They're not paying attention. The corner itself was a really, really quickly taken corner. Malapa's alive to the situation. He's got in between the two defenders there, put the ball in the back of the net. But as you can see, these two guys here aren't even looking where the ball's come from. They've just been completely caught out. Brilliant bit of quick. As you can see, two boys here not watching. Malapa sneaks in and does what any good striker should do. Heads the ball back down towards the goalkeeper's feet. Makes it very, very difficult for him to see. So, brilliant bit of artistry and quick thinking from Calba then. And then Banyas moving forward, looking for the equaliser. What I want you to do is pay a lot of attention to this number 15 here. Okay, so 15 and João Pedro here, the eventual goal scorer. So as he drives forward, if we just pause it in here, okay, defence is okay. We've got a huge gap in here, we've got a big gap in here. I would like to see this defender come across a little bit more. I'd also like to see number 3 in here and having a tight line so we haven't got this gap. So as I said before, João Pedro, the goal scorer, picks the ball up here. Just watch 15, watch the 2 midfielders here. Here we go. So João Pedro plays the ball in. Okay, as we're set up here, reasonable, not too bad. Position, body position, ideally needs to be in here, open his body out so we can see the ball and see the ball coming across. 18 has got to do more here. He's got to be coming across here and taking 10 out of the game. If he does that, this guy is then free, which is absolutely fine. He needs to be. So this guy here should be going into the ball, man marking here. This player here is free. 18 comes across here. But again, João Pedro is the man we need to watch. As that ball comes in, superb ball and a wonderful, brilliant, absolutely brilliant goal. He's just come from absolutely nowhere, and as I mentioned, not being picked up by number 15. It was superb header. What I want to do is, if we possibly can, just take it back just a little bit. Superb. Defenders all looking round at each other, who's responsible for it, and actually it's this man here, number 15, who hasn't marked him. 15 here was supposed to be marking Pedro, just lets him go, he drifts all the way through, and there's the guilty party there. This man here should have been marking João Pedro. João Pedro's come all the way through after setting the play up and scoring the goal. So they're all looking around at each other here. Who's responsible? It's this person out here, and he needs to do better, just not good enough. Last chance to see it. There he is, there. And that's where his goal scorer is. Just not good enough. Okay. And then, again, moment of madness. Very, very tight game. As the ball comes across, gets far too close to him, and almost something out of the WWE, forearm smash, lifts his arm up straight into the player's face. And unfortunately, that's just marred the game, really, because it was a really good, entertaining game and very, very disappointing. And that was really, unfortunately, the last bit of real action in the whole game. And it was disappointing to see. But on the whole, I think both teams will be happy with the result. The second leg will be at Calba. I think Calba possibly have got the opportunity here to just edge it. I think they'll feel confident. So it'll be interesting to watch the second leg.
All right, Ian, thank you for that analysis. Again, interesting, but not a lot there to really get your teeth into, is there?
No, it'd be interesting second leg, going back to Calba. So I think Calba possibly might have a slight edge playing at home.
I think so. Do you think they'll bring in the bigger boys?
I think Calba certainly will. It's a competition they've got a good chance of winning.
Yeah.
They're close. It's 1-1. It would be a good opportunity for silverware.
Because it'll be their first semi-final, their first World Cup.
Whereas Banyas, I would say, still probably concentrating on the league, but again, we'll want to win as always. A semi-final place on the spot, but I think Calba might just sneak it.
Yeah, and I think we'll see. It's not next week; it's the week after. I think January week, starting on the 25th, is when we'll see the second leg, and I think we'll see a lot. The games will be different. Different teams will come in because they'll all want to get to the semi-final.
Yeah, there'll be different personnel, won't there?
And then we'll move on to Sharjah, which I'm going to look at, versus Al Wasl, two of the big clubs. You could say it's almost a local derby. They're just a few miles from each other. Sharjah, as we know, are top of the league. Al Wasl are on a good run at the moment. They're playing well. They're finally getting it together. João Figueiredo's scoring goals. Let's see what happened in this game.
سابق العالم. هنا الكرة يتسابق فيها شكروف، لمسة خطيرة، ممكن جول خطيرة. الله على محاولة يتدخل فيها حارس المرمى. خطيرة كانت قريبة يا حميد عبد الله. هنا الكرة ملعوبة خطيرة بالراس، توبينك يلعبها بالراس والكرة يلتقطها حارس المرمى. قلت لك هو الأخطر هو الأخطر على مستوى الدفاعات فريق نادي الوصل. عادت الهجمة مرتدة الآن لمصلحة الإمبراطور، هجمة مرتدة ارتداد سريع لكن خطيرة ممكن جول. الله الله على فرصة ضاعت للبديل وليد درويش، كان ممكن أن ينهيها بالفعل بهدف قاتل حاسم في اللحظات الأخيرة. غلطة الشاطر بألف يا شايرو روزا، يرسل كرة تعود لحبوش ممكن كرة تسديده. اكتشاف جديد للعنبري.
Okay, so the next game we're going to look at is Sharjah, top of the table, versus Al Wasl, who are playing well at the moment, doing well in the league. They're starting to get a run of games together. But interestingly, if you look at the team sheets, they both played weaker teams. Sharjah, in fact, played an almost reserve team. Wellington's not missing. The other player, I forget his name, Coronado, is not playing as well. And we think of Wellington, he's on a rich vein of form, he's scoring lots of goals. Al Wasl, they haven't got the big boys in there. I think they're all aiming for the second leg, so it's a 0-0 result. Not a lot to talk about, but there was opportunities to score goals. So let's have a look and we'll move straight into the action. The first opportunity falling to Sharjah, to Salim Salah, who'd been brought in to score the goals. And we can see it was a lovely bit of play from Sharjah. It was 3-on-3 in the defence and against attackers, and it was a lovely through ball played to him. He had, if we can see here, plays a lovely ball. He's there, he's just got the goalkeeper to read, but he got himself into a great position, and I think it was more pace and power that got him past the defender. Not in the best position, but good goalkeeping, maybe not the second. Then Al Wasl had their first chance. If we pause it there, Ian, we can see that Sharjah have got all the men. The defence, you can look at the defensive line, they've got two players back there, the goalkeeper's got his eye on the ball, and if we carry on with the play there, Ian, we can see the defender for Al Wasl jumps above everybody else, but it looked like it almost hit him on the chest. The goalkeeper did well. This was the best opportunity. Can we just pause it there, Ian? I mean, I don't know what he was doing. I think he just took his eye off the ball. It's something you know, you see a schoolboy team do. How he let the ball just go past him here. It fell to the substitute, Walid, and we carry on there, Ian. This should have been a goal. But the goalkeeper got him, he's got his angles right. It was a lovely stop from the goalkeeper. Let's have another look at it. I mean, Ian is a goalkeeper, maybe he could have given a better synopsis on what the goalkeeper did, but he got himself in a good position. And the substitute, Walid, should have done better. Al Wasl should have got a goal. Then another opportunity fell to another substitute, Haboush. He took the ball, turned lovely, got him to create himself some space, hit it first time, but again the goalkeeper was in a good position, and that was all really to talk about. As again, I'll mention it again, let's look forward to the second leg. I'm sure we'll get some goals. If not, it will go to penalties, and I think, you know, players like Wellington, Coronado, João Figueiredo will be playing, and we'll see a lot better game.
Welcome to our new feature goal of the week. Last week was Khalil.
Yes, it was.
This week we've chosen Bruno Lamas from Corsican.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see the goal.
What a fantastic goal, by the way.
Silva back into Lamas. Can he shoot it first time? That is a great finish.
What a wonderful goal, yeah.
Just an unbelievable strike, isn't it?
As
So clean.
As I always say, top corner, top class. And to be honest, Ian, it would take two goalkeepers couldn't have stopped that shot. It was caught really sweet.
Yeah, beautiful, wasn't it? Just see as this ball rolls out to him now, it's it first time, just clips it with his left foot, gets so much power through it with his laces, and it's got that top spin which gets it up and down over the defenders, past the goalkeeper, giving him absolutely no chance. It's a brilliant strike, absolutely brilliant strike.
And I think it was an easy one to choose this week.
Yeah,
there weren't many fantastic goals, and it was an easy one for us to choose. Okay, hope you enjoyed it. All right, Ian, thank you very much, and thank you. What we're going to do now, I hope you enjoyed that. We're just going to spend a couple of minutes on the predictions, we're going to get our man Gavel, cameraman, to put the predictions up for us there. And let's have a look at the predictions here. When I find him in a minute. Okay, let's look at the predictions here for week 13. We didn't do so good on week 12, even Bernard.
Yes.
I think we're going to blame COVID-19 for that, all right? So let's hope we do a little bit better this week, Ian. We're starting to get to know the league, and remember, we are still learning a lot about the league, how things work here. So let's move on without further ado. Hatta versus Alain. Hatta, the whipping boys, we keep saying that. I'm sorry, Hatta, I've got some friends in Hatta. But Hatta, they got a draw last week. Is that a springboard here?
I'd like to say so, but
Alain.
probably not. Both teams obviously haven't played in the Cup this week, so they've been rested, which is good. Alain have got a couple of injuries which we know about, so hopefully they'll be coming back. Alain are desperate to keep up to date with the top three, so they'll obviously want to win. Hatta must win, but
They're at home.
they are at home.
But do you think they'd be happy with the draw against a big team like Alain?
It's a difficult one, isn't it? They need points. A point isn't enough.
Yeah.
But like you say, they're playing against a big team. Realistically, can they get a point?
I think they will. I'm going for a 1-1 myself.
But I think Alain will be too strong, so I'm going to go Alain win quite comfortably, 2-0.
Okay. By the way, thank you for your comments. The people who made comments about our predictions, keep them coming. It does help. A little bit of feedback here. Let's move on to our champions versus the surprise package of the league, Calba. What do you think, Ian?
I think it's going to be a close game. I think it really will be, because
I really do.
obviously Sharjah have just played in the Cup, but have played the majority of the reserve players, so players coming back will be fresh.
They know this is a big game.
But won't be match fit. Calva lads have played a game, so again that's another game they've had together to gel. They're well organised. Malapa's back scoring goals. He scored 3 goals in 2 games in the Arabian Cup. I think they're going to push them. I think they really will push them. I think it'll be tight. Possibly a draw. Even Calva might sneak a win here.
Yeah, I'm going for a draw. If I had to be pushed for a win or loss, I'd go for a Sharjah win, but I'm going to go for a draw. All right, let's go to Ajman for Fujairah. Wow, this is we could say a big 6-pointer.
Huge.
Ajman need this more than anything, and this is it. They are playing well, and this is the time to do it.
We saw that, didn't we? Saw that in the last highlights last week. That they played some superb football, and they nearly scored the goal of the season.
Yeah, but that was a lovely
that interplay was superb, wasn't it? So they can do it. We know they can do it going forward, but it's whether they can do it at the back, and that's been the biggest problem. And that's similar to Fujairah's problem, really, that they're okay going forward, play nice football.
It could go either way, it really could.
Yeah, I think Fujairah, at the end of the day, Fujairah just going to be a little bit too strong for them.
I do, but I'm going to go for a nice man win, because they're at home, they're playing well, they're sticking with the manager, who I predict is the next guy to go.
Yeah.
I think they're going to get a win. I really do believe they're going to get a win. So Ian for a draw, and I'm going to go for a win. And I'm actually commentating on that game, so if you get a chance to watch it on I think it's Abu Dhabi Sports 1, you can listen to me commentating on that game. Shabab Al-Athli, the draw specialist, big game, local derby in Al Nassr, meanest defence in the league still.
Yeah.
But Shabab Al-Athli is coming off that win in the Cup.
Scored 4 very good goals.
Yeah. I don't think it's a problem scoring, it's letting them.
It's letting them, isn't it? Like the scoreline it flattered them a little bit. Corsican played a little bit better.
Yeah, as you said in your analysis, they had a better possession.
And Al Nassr, we saw last week, I think the week before, their defence was rattled a couple of times, but Al Nassr will desperately want to win. They're obviously trying to keep pace with the top 2, which they are very close to. Shabab have got to try and break this draw, becoming this draw specialist, which they are. I think it's, what do we say, 7 in 12, 7 in 13.
Can you imagine that, 7 draws?
Yeah, it's just not good enough. I think it'll be an entertaining game. I think Shabab are going forward are good, and Nassr are strong at the back. I think probably Al Nassr win 2-1.
Really? Going for an Al Nassr win. I'm going for Shabab Al-Athli. This is for you, Robert. Shabab Al-Athli, I'm going for a 2-1 win. Well, let's move on to Al Dhafra versus Al Wasl. Hey, I apologise for my phone and my iPad pinging away. Al Dhafra versus Al Wasl. What do you think to that one?
Al Dhafra are a strange team. They just sort of play under the radar. They don't really do anything special. If
they get the win when they need it,
yeah,
and then they lose, and then they get that win when they need it.
If you say who plays for Al Dhafra, it's like, well, I don't really know. They're sort of just one of these teams that just keep going. Yeah. They're quite happy, sort of lower mid-table. They're not going to go down. They're not going to challenge for the title. Yeah. They're just sort of middle of the table, middle of the road team, and for that, there's not really a lot of focus on them. Al Wassel, like you said before, starting to play well.
They're gelling it together.
I think it'll be an Al Wassel win.
Yeah, I'm going to go for an Al Wassel win on that one as well, Ian. Let's move on to Corfacan versus Al Jazeera, a big game. Corfacan at home, Al Jazeera. What do you think? I mean, they were losing 2-0 against Al Ain, and they didn't look the team. Al Ain were all over them, and it wasn't until that sending off.
Yes.
Al Jazeera got back into the game and could have won.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you think to this one? Corfacan, we know, quite tough at home. They won against Fujairah. They're on a bit of a high.
They are, aren't they? Jazeera got to come to the East Coast, which is never easy. The stadium there, right next to the sea, the wind blowing through. So it's going to be tough. It just depends, doesn't it, what sort of attitude Al Jazeera turn up with. If they think they're going to turn up and just coast and roll them over, I think they might struggle because that's not going to happen. Yeah. So they've got to go with the mentality that they're playing Sharjah or they're playing Al Ain, that they've got to win. They've got a tough game in their hands. So it'll be interesting. I think, like saying, Corfacan played well in the cup. Having said that, they lost 4-2, but the possession was up there. They played good football.
Yeah, you said
the highlights didn't show that as much.
No, it didn't.
So I think it'd be a good game. It'd be a tough game. I think it'd be a close game.
It'd be a good game to watch.
So, if you're a betting man, it'll be an Al Jazeera win.
Yeah. But
who knows on the day?
I'm a betting man. I'm going for Al Jazeera. Yeah. My team, I don't like him. Finally, Al Wahda versus Banyas. I mean, Banyas are on fire, playing great football, got some good players. Really good. João Pedro he's just scoring for fun at the moment. I mean, the guy's top scorer now, isn't he, with Wellington? Yeah. And you go.
I think he's got 13 league goals for Pedro.
And they're playing away well. They're winning away a lot.
They're very well organised, aren't they? They had that sort of blip in the middle of the season, and they've got that back. They started strongly, a little bit of a dip, then they're back again. Yeah. And Pedro's just a different class. He's just up there, isn't he? Again, like Wellington, he's so hungry for goals. He wants to score goals all the time, and he'll do anything to get on the end of it. Whether it's running 30, 40 yards or sliding in at the back post, he'll do the hard work to score goals. And there's so many strikers that don't do that. They just stand around there. They sort of go hang around the box and just hope he comes
That's
out.
Right. What I like about Banyasi, and he mentioned before, they go out to win. They don't come to park the bus or just sit back and be happy with not losing. So what do you think? Come on, give me a prediction, Ian.
Well, I think Banyas are strong. I like the pace of football they play. They're very high tempo. They put teams under pressure from straight away from the get-go. And with Pedro up front, he only needs half a chance. And you saw from the highlights, brilliant header. He stormed into the box from sort of 20 yards out. He set up the goal, got in the box, and brilliant header.
It was lovely.
Like I said, he wants to score goals, and he's a tough man to stop. So Banyas win.
I'm going for a Banyas win. With Al Wahda. I'm sorry, Al Wahda fans. Okay, let's move finally on to our look at the tables and have a quick 2 minutes talking about the tables. And please remember, if you disagree with anything we say, we want to make your predictions. We do look at the comments. Please let us know. All right, so let's move on to the tables. So we'll look at top of the table first. All right, let's move on to the tables, Ian. I mean, it's top of the table. Not much has changed there. It's more the bottom of the table is a bit more interesting to me. So what do you think, Ian? Sharjah, top of the table, New Year?
Like I say, not a lot's changed. Sharjah plays really good football. Al Jazeera, the team that
and they're playing at home in the league next week, aren't they, this week?
Yeah, Al Nassr, Banyas. It's going to be between those top four, I think. Al Ain are just too inconsistent. They've had too many injuries, and I just don't think they've quite got what it takes.
No. You know what? I have a friend who's a big fan of Al Ain, and they believe in what the manager's doing. He's got rid of the old guard. He's bringing in the young youth academy players in, and they're gelling. And he said, "Look, give us a season. Next season," he said, "watch out for Al Ain." Because there's some days, I mean, Al Jazeera, they looked phenomenal in that first half. It was that sending off.
Yes.
I mean, they were all over Al Jazeera. They did look good. So they do have their moments. And I think they're a team to watch out more for next season. I agree with you, Ian.
Yeah.
Too inconsistent.
And then you've got those teams around the middle. Shabab, who's 7 draws out of 12. Al Wassel, Al Dafra. They're going to stay there or thereabouts.
It's a shame. Shabab, a team that was winning everything. team to be there. It's a little bit of fall from grace. But what do you think for the new manager, former national coach? Do you think he'll bring some stability? He's got a fantastic history.
Yeah, he will.
He's Emirati.
He knows the league inside out. He knows the players. He's going to get them playing the way he wants them to play and the way that's best suited to the league. It'll take him time. This season, unfortunately for them, is going to be a bit of a write-off.
They're not going to win the league. They've got no chance.
So again, similar to LA, they're going to have to play for next season now, and players are going to have to start thinking about their futures. Do they want to be part of what he wants to do next season and start proving that they're the right players to do the job?
And I do. Robert disagrees, but I believe they're bringing the right man. This man is Emirati. His experience is incredible, and like you said, he does know the league and the players. Watch out for them. Al Ain and Shabab Al Ahly, I think, are two teams that you've got to watch out for. And Calvert, as we keep saying, what a great season they're having. Quarter-final of the Cup. Good chance of going through to the semi-final. They're there.
I think realistically for Calvert, they need to be looking to try and get into that cup final and try and finish 5th or 6th. I think that would be a superb season for them.
Fantastic.
And they can build on that from next season.
Relegation.
Hasn't changed much, has it?
I say there's only 3 teams in it, Ian, and I think even for Gira, I don't know. Ajman and Hatta are predictions to go down. Unless Ajman can win, it brings Fajira right back into that.
That's the key games at this weekend. Fajira versus Ajman.
Fajira versus Ajman, so watch out for that. It's a big game. If Fajira win, it really is game over for Ajman and Hatta. Yeah. But this is Ajman's chance at home against Fajira if they can do the business.
Yeah.
It would make it a little bit more interesting.
It would, wouldn't it? Unfortunately, Hatta are really struggling, but Ajman need to beat Fajira. And if they do, brilliant. It will just spice it up a little bit down the bottom.
And it's interesting to top off. Nobody's won it. Sharjah are not running away with it.
No.
Al Jazeera are not running away. It's been a really interesting league, and we're just over the halfway mark. So it'll be interesting to see how things pan out here.
Yeah,
I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah.
All right, I'd like to say thank you to everybody for listening. It was only 4 games we analysed. I hope you enjoyed our different format that we were doing this week. We're trying to change things up, do things a little bit different, make it a little bit more interesting. And I keep saying we are doing it voluntarily. We're not doing it for fame and fortune. That would be lovely. Okay, but bear with us. And eventually we're trying to make it into a show that everybody can enjoy. And please, ring the bell, make a comment. We do appreciate, don't we, the feedback.
Absolutely.
And things you have to say. And I hope you enjoyed it, episode 10. Thanks to our cameraman, as ever, Gavel. And we'll see you for episode 11, week 13 of the Arabian Golf League. Thank you for watching the Arabian Golf Cup today. Bye for now.
Bye, thanks guys.
Salama.